Welcome in. Thanks for joining me today. Today's episode is going to be all about creating automatic motivation. The premise is a lot of people come to me and complain. They say, I am spending so much time scrolling on my phone. I have this stuff I want to do, but I can't get it done because I just don't feel like doing it. And I want to be this person, this higher version of myself, but I just can't get myself to do it. I don't have the motivation. So how can we create for ourselves automatic motivation that is always there? We can always call upon it, not just motivation where you're up thinking at 3 a.m. how you need to make a change and you have this big plan, you have all this motivation to make a change, and then the next day rolls around and you repeat your habits over and over again. So if you're really ready to create some real changes in your life and do that effortlessly, this is all going to be about how you can create automatic motivation so you can set it up to where your habits are on routine. You don't even have to think twice. You're just doing what you need to do regardless, especially regardless of how you feel in the moment. This is how to get what you want to get done, no matter how you feel. Think about it this way. Say we break up habits into 3 categories. Good habits, the things that you do that you're like, awesome. I'm really proud that I was able to eat healthy. I'm really proud that I work out, whatever your good habits are. Then we'll say neutral habits. Like you always open the door with your right hand. You always walk up the stairs with your right foot first. Whatever these neutral habits are, you don't really think about them, but you do them over and over and over again. And then there's the negative habits, and you're pretty aware of them. You know, hey, I'm scrolling pretty much every day on TikTok. I eat a bunch of cookies at night. Point being, all throughout your day, whether you're doing a neutral habit, a negative habit, a positive habit, regardless of your personal label, your day is filled up with habits. From the time you get up, from the time you go to sleep, it's mostly a routine. And you're on this routine that you've created for yourself, whether you like what you've created or you prefer something else. But the funny thing about it is, you know how you do a bad habit without intentionally trying? Like maybe you tell yourself, today is the day. I'm not going to eat cookies past 6. I'm not going to do it. No matter what happens, I'm not going to do it. And then 6 rolls around and you find yourself eating cookies. Maybe you did it on accident. You aren't even aware that you picked up the cookies. Or maybe you intentionally said, F it, I'll try it another day. Same thing with any other bad habit. Maybe you pick up TikTok and you don't even realize that you're picking up TikTok until it's an hour later. Point being, maybe you haven't experienced this, but the same exact way you find yourself unconsciously doing your bad habits, you can set it up to where you find yourself unconsciously doing the good habits. This is why I'm calling this episode Creating Automatic Motivation. Getting to the point within your habits, within your routine, that you're not really even thinking about it. You can get to the point where literally, just like you unconsciously, you're making up excuses so that you eat the cookies, now you're making up excuses so that you get to the gym. You might even say, I'm not going to go to the gym today. It's a rest day, intentionally. And then later you'll find yourself making up excuses to go, or just finding yourself exercising at home just because it's so ingrained. It feels good. It's like uncomfortable to not do it. It's like an itch almost. So the same way you have bad habits that you can't stop doing, you can have great habits that you can't stop doing. It really just depends on one thing. What you want for your life. What we've discovered here is your day is, from the beginning to the end, it's filled up with habits. You're always going to have habits that you're doing. Question is, what do you want in those habits? What do you want in a day? That's the first part I see people mess up on when they're trying to get rid of bad habits. They say, okay, I need to stop doing this. I want to quit this bad habit. Like we discovered together, your day is filled with habits. There's always going to be a habit within your day. Even if you're doing nothing, that nothing is something. So people go in and they say, okay, I want to stop doing this. But you can't just have a habitless time. There has to be something in that space. So the real question is, what do you want instead? If you haven't picked out what you want instead, your habit is never going to change, because a void always wants to be filled, and it's going to be filled with something. So either you get to choose what goes in there, or something random falls into that void, right? But the excellent news is what we've learned together is we're excellent habit creators. We've been creating habits our entire life. So now it's just up to us to pick, what do we want in that void? What do we want to fill up our day with? And when we have the answer to that, you've got it. Now I'm going to get deeper into finding, what do you want in a day? And if you're going to create some new habits and get automatic motivation to get what you want to get done, what should you really be trying to put within your day? Now, obviously that's personal, but I want to look at this concept of should versus willing. So you really should do it, but are you willing to do it? Let's look at the difference. Maybe you can feel it in your body right now, but there's a huge difference between me saying, I should really go to the gym, and saying, well, I'm going to go to the gym today. Should it's almost like an expectation for ourselves. I don't even like this word in my vocabulary. Should is like, it's kind of half in and kind of half out. You're almost setting yourself up for failure when you're shoulding all over yourself. Should will give you all of the guilt and disappointment without any of the responsibility and action towards your goal. So to me, shoulding all over the place is setting yourself up for failure. Versus, what are you willing for? Are you really willing to go to the gym every day, or whatever your habit may be? Are you willing to commit yourself to that time, that activity? And really sit and think about that, because if you're not willing, okay, that's fine, that's great, but now you know, and you can move on with your life without all of that guilt that comes along with should. And if you are willing, that's great. We can go on to the next step and let go of, again, that guilt and the lack of energy that comes with should, because now you're committed, now you're willing. So really, what are the habits that you want in your day? And then, are you really willing to commit yourself to that 100%, no matter what it takes? So if you have bad habits that you want to stop, and there's not necessarily something that you want to start to do, let me ask you this. So if your bad habits are being on your phone too much, what would you prefer to be doing with that time? If it's overeating, what would you prefer to be doing in that moment? Any bad habit that you have, what would you rather spend that energy on? And then, are you really willing to do what you say you'd prefer to be doing? This honestly might be the toughest part of the whole deal. Because a lot of times when we commit, it's like, okay, I do want to work out every day. But it's like, why? On the days that it's hard, on the days that you don't want to do it, why are you even doing this? So to me, a really important part of finding your willingness is dealing with all of the things that's going on in your mind regarding an issue. Say your goal is to work out. Okay, I want to work out, but why though? Well, I want to look good, I want to feel my best. But why though? And really getting to your deep why, and addressing any of the resistance that you might have within yourself. I do want to work out, but I'm afraid to go to the gym. And if you have too many counter intentions, like, I want to work out, I can't work out. I want to work out, I can't work out. That's just going to put you in a place of friction every single time you decide to go to the gym. So finding your willingness is also about addressing concerns that you might have. So ask yourself, if I'm really willing, is there anything that will stop me from doing this? What's stopping me? Solve the problem before it happens. If you know that you are uncomfortable going to a gym out in public, solve the problem. What can we do to make that happen? Okay, you could maybe work out at home. You could maybe get clothes that you feel more comfortable in. You could go with a buddy to the gym to start off with until you get more comfortable. So really look at what you're willing to do holistically. So are you really committed 100%? Is there anything that could stop you? And why do you want to do it in the first place? The more solid you are on your why, and the less objections that you have that can get in the way, your focus is going to be like a laser. And you're already at your goal at that point. Nothing's going to stop you because you made up your mind. Now here's the part where if you've done the first part of the exercise, you'll be ready. But if you haven't done the first part of the exercise, deciding what you're willing for, finding your why, solving objections, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. So you really need to have a solid, strong foundation before you even get to this step. So now we are at setting up a small non-negotiable. I'll share a story with you. When I first started my journey, of self-improvement, I'll say, I was at a really low place. I had trouble taking care of myself, like at the basic level. And I just remember crying and being like, it is so hard for me to wake up and brush my teeth, to wake up and wash my face. Like I don't even want to do this. I like living life was so hard for me. Just the basics, just living. And I had a mentor at the time, and she introduced me to this concept of a non-negotiable. She's like, there's maybe 5 things in my life every day that's a non-negotiable. And it helps me because it takes thinking out of it. And it's more of a routine. It's like no matter what happens in a day, I will always do these 5 things. If these are the 5 things that get done in the whole day, then it's a good day. You did it. So when I first started my journey, I had 2 non-negotiables. 2. I started very small because, like I said, it was a challenge literally living. So my first non-negotiable was I will brush my teeth every day. My second non-negotiable was I will wash my face and put on face moisturizer. And when I committed to that as a non-negotiable, it became part of my habit. And now I have more non-negotiables than just those 2. But I could tell you, since I set that up, I've not missed a day. The closest I've ever gotten was me falling asleep because I was so tired, and my subconscious literally letting me sleep for 30 minutes to an hour, then waking me up in the middle of the night so I could go floss, brush my teeth, wash my face. I can't even really articulate it, because once you set up a non-negotiable, it is so ingrained in you and it's so part of your life that it has to get done. So it would literally be like me trying to sleep with the house on fire or something. It's like you can't just ignore it. It's got to get done. So, and that's when you get deeper into having non-negotiables. But honestly, the commitment is the same from the beginning. It's a commitment to yourself. I chose these 2 things. I started really small, and I knew every single day that's just had to get done. So for you, I would recommend thinking about what you would be really willing to do every single day. And I wouldn't do big non-negotiables. Like, a non-negotiable is something that you are positive every single day for the rest of your life that you can get done. So I wouldn't set up a non-negotiable right out the gate. If you don't exercise, I wouldn't set it up like, oh, every day I'm going to exercise. I would say maybe every single day I'll do 1 push-up. And you're like, Siva, that's so small, 1 push-up. But once you have that 1 push-up foundation, 5 push-ups even, it'll be so easy to build upon that. And that goes on to the next point of building on things. So if you do set up a non-negotiable, just putting something in your day randomly is kind of weird. If you're wanting to build a new habit, you want to attach it to something always. So then it will become automatic motivation, right? So for me, it was like, okay, you just wake up and brush your teeth. But if there's something you want to do, if you always eat breakfast at the same time, put it after breakfast. If there's something that you already have a habit of doing, washing your hands after you go to the bathroom, attach something else there. And that will make it easy to do your new habit. And it'll be a trigger for you to remember to do it. If you have to, make an alarm on your phone as well. But a non-negotiable, to me, is a very serious commitment. So before you commit to a non-negotiable, I want you to be like 100% sure that you're in it and in it for long term. And keep it small, because once you have that non-negotiable for probably around 90 days, maybe even less than that, it will literally become part of you. And now I could not dream of going to sleep without brushing my teeth. It doesn't matter how tired I am. It would not happen. When I first started, my thing wasn't, okay, I'm going to start this 30-step morning skincare routine, creating the perfect morning routine. No, I stuck to the basics of it. The foundation. Lay out the foundation of the habit that you want. Maybe don't start with the full habit, but lay the foundations what is the basics of what you're wanting to do, and commit to doing that, because later it'll be easier to expand on a solid foundation. Another reason that non-negotiables just work is because it takes the thinking out of it. Maybe you've been in a situation where you're thinking, should I go to the gym? Should I not go to the gym? Well, the gym is 3 miles away, and if I spent the time doing this, then that, and by the time you've decided, A, you don't have time anymore, you are confused, you don't feel motivated, and you don't end up going. Non-negotiables take the thinking out of it. You know you're going to do it. It's just a matter of when you decide to do it. So it can not only get you being where you want to be, but it saves you a lot of time, because you're not thinking back and forth all the time. Should I do it? Should I not? Literally having an inner argument. If you are having inner arguments about your habits, something's gone wrong. You're not clear on your why. You have too many objections that you haven't solved yet, or you really don't want to do it. Maybe something's flat out of alignment for you. It could be that you're trying to make a habit out of something that's like, it's nonsensical. Do you really want a 20-step skincare routine, or do you just think it would have people like you better? Maybe it's BS, but it's so worth it to decide that, so you're having less friction in your life. You're not having arguments all the time about, should I scroll on TikTok right now, or should I do my work? Should I go to the gym, or should I eat right now? Like, having it planned out in advance will save you brain power and energy. And that's another thing you can do. Me personally, I time block. I use a Google Calendar, and if you're a professional, my mentor told me once, you need to get in the habit of using your Google Calendar. Since Google Calendar automates everything, it makes it easy with like time differences to see what time your Zooms are at and all of that good stuff. So side note, because I feel like there are probably a lot of entrepreneur types watching this video. So anyways, time blocking can be super beneficial because it gives you a layout of your day. And personally, I like to plan the day ahead of time. So every night I'm planning my next day, because I'm looking at it with more of a bird's eye view, less emotional. On a day-to-day basis, it can be like, okay, I've got so much to do, doing this, there, that. Planning out at least the basic part of your day can give you more structure. Another thing I do with doing activities in a day is I muscle test. If you know how to muscle test kinesiology, you get an answer yes or no from your body. And if you don't know that, reach out to me and we'll talk about it, or Google muscle testing. But it's a simple way to get a yes or no answer from your body. And it's helpful because you're not thinking about it too hard. It saves you energy. As an exercise, get a paper and kind of outline your day. What parts are in your day? What are the main parts of your day? Waking up, breakfast, going to work, coming home, TV, and maybe look at your day, what's in there, and ask yourself, A, what does my higher self have in their day? Maybe jot down some ideas and see the flow of your day. What habits can you attach to your normal flow of life, your normal routine, so it's not a challenge to do it? In order to do this, you also need to schedule things out in advance. Don't just expect that, oh, I'll make the time for the habit. No, you need to make sure it's on the schedule. You know when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, and at exactly what time. So if you do pick out a non-negotiable or a new habit in general, if you want to succeed, put it on the calendar, or have a plan. Exactly, I'm going to do this right after I eat breakfast every Monday. And look at how your day flows. If you end up going back to bad habits, see, is there something in the day that's kind of triggering that? Am I feeling low and then overeating? What's really going on here? But the part of this where it really becomes automatic motivation, where no matter what's going on in the day, you feel like you have to get that habit done. No matter what, you feel like doing it, really. This starts happening once you have repeated this habit over and over and over and over again. And you're not going to get to that point of it being that effortless and you're always in the mood, even when you're not in the mood. You're not going to get there without repeating it. So even if you had to put on the calendar like 90 days, they say that is when something becomes a habit. I don't know exactly if it's 90 days, but if you're really committed, you don't even need a 90-day mark, because it's part of you now. It's part of your identity. It's part of your lifestyle. But knowing the more that you do something, the more you're ingraining it into your subconscious, the more you're ingraining it into your conscious. And I promise you, I pinky promise you, if you do something over and over again every single day, eventually you get to the point where it's automatic motivation. No matter if you feel like it, no matter if you're happy, no matter if you're sad, no matter if you're tired, it almost feels like an itch. It feels like something's like pushing up on you to go do what you need to do. And if you don't know what I mean, it's the same thing with the bad habit. I'm sure you've experienced this. You've tried to stop a bad habit and can't, because it feels like something is pushing you to do it. And you can have that same experience with a good habit. So if you are wanting a new lifestyle, you want to live the life from your higher self, it all starts with the choices that you are making every minute, every hour, every day, every week. And it all comes to each present moment, what you're choosing to do at that time. You are the creator of the hour. You are the creator of the day. You are the creator of the week. You're the creator of the month. And you're the creator of your life. So to summarize, how you get automatic motivation is finding what you prefer to do with your time. What do you really want to be living your life like? What's your higher self doing? Finding that and then deciding, is it something I feel like I should be doing? Or is it something that I know this is what my life is about. I know this is what I want to be doing. Solving any objections that may come up with that in advance, making it easy for you to succeed. Attaching that habit to something that you already do, so it's easy. It fits in the flow of your life. It's simple. Set up non-negotiables, so you're not thinking every day, should I do it, should I not do it? It's a part of your lifestyle now. And start small. Create the foundations of your habits so you can build on it later. The more solid your foundation and repetitiveness, the easier it will be to build up onto it. Then repeat it over and over and over again. And then you'll notice, hey, I automatically have this motivation. It's no longer a conversation in my mind. It's no longer causing friction. It's no longer causing pain in my life. I've got these marks set out. I've got my day planned. I've got my week planned. And I've got my life planned. But if you still want help fine-tuning the exact things that you need to be doing to get you in alignment with your higher self, please reach out to me. I have a discovery call that's completely free. And I guarantee you, if we do that call together, if nothing else, you will walk away with that conversation with so much more clarity. You can find that link in my bio, in all of my socials. My username is SivaSoul. But thank you so much for being here. I'm wishing you lots of love, lots of luck on your journey in creating your dream reality with your perfect habit. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Tune in next week. Peace and love at you. I love you.